by E.M. Barrister. The wisest man I ever knew had a cottage outside Lou. His name was David Alexander Kidd. It was David who predicted the world would end in 1960. And for David Alexander Kidd it did. He was round his grocer's, Mr. Spicer, playing with his bacon slicer. A lovely girl. With great big knuckles. Known as Sue. When the blade cut off his hand, he picked it up and ran to see the famous surgeon, Dr. Pugh. He said, "Can you sew it back again?" He said, "Of course I can, my friend. But first of all, you'll have to pay 2,000 quid. He said, "I can't afford to pay." He said, "In that case, good day. Push off home." That's what Davy did. As he passed the water mill, he glanced up at the hill to where the chapel of St. Levi used to stand. And a little farther down, he saw a little farther down, who was sitting with his surplice in his hand. He was stitching up a tear and sewing with such care. David said, "Father, could you sew my hand back on?" He said, "There is nothing in God's plan that is beyond the scope of man. But first of all, you must have faith, my son." So while Faith held his thumb, David sat down while his chum stitched back his hand just like it was before. "It's a miracle," Dave cried. The priest just smiled with humble pride. Humble pride? As he saw him disappear across the moor. When Dave got back to his street, who should he chance to meet but the wicked profiteering Dr. Pugh? Dave said, "Look what faith has done for me. Ah, and done it all for free. So, Dr. Pugh, you know what you can do."